business or school. Have you ever seen people who are trying to be a favorite from their teachers or boss? Relationships between people are necessary for making benefit in our life and others. There are so many ways to communicate with others, like emails, phones, and social media. It is so much easier for us to make new connections with people in other countries and also within the country. In my experience in Japan, my friend used to agree with everything what his teacher says to make his impression better. And this technique surprisingly worked well to keep himself away from trouble. He did not get into many troubles even though others did, because his teacher liked him as a good teacher more than others. He succeeded to make himself a great student by thinking himself. However, is it the best way to achieve success in our life? It works, and it is beneficial. However, is it ethical? What if those relationships were created within a huge country like China? Please welcome my friend, Chun-Hsin.
In 2015, Baucom, an ex-security chief, one of 4 most powerful people in China, was arrested and charged with bribery, abuse of power, and leaking the state secrets. He and his family raised more than $20 million from 1949 to 2012 from the government officials and businessmen. Baucom is a work of the government and the grant of grant. Today, I will present about the corruption in China which prevents China becomes a developed country. Before I go to my presentation, I want to define some terms. First, filial piety relates to the family firm, which is a Confucius theory about respect of seniors and their parents. Nepotism is a reputation of people in the same family or have a strong gunshi in the same system of government or community. Gunshi is a personalized network, which is a connection between 2 people or among people in which one individual persuades another to perform a favor or service. Bribery is defined as a mixture of entrusted power in the strength of private benefit. Bribery makes the economy in China slow down. It's weakened the government influence by losing the just from the public. Children in the government use their power, money, and relationship to get royalty in business by the nepotism relationship. And gunshi is the reason of bribery and nepotism. It turned the economy of China down. Confucianism also creates the filial pieties. It made the family firm lost amount of the profits and made the young generation in China cannot work what they prefer. The family firm play a major role in China's economy. Based on the Asian Links essay, there are between 7 to 8 million private enterprises in China, but the family firm take about 80% of them. But in fact, not as good as the non-family firms. The net profit margin over 3 years from the family firm is 7.2%, with totally unequal to the non-family firm. They have 12%. The filial pieties make Chinese jobs unable to decide what they want to do in their life. They will feel really bad if they don't follow the advice from their parents. In the Huamang case, in the Ningbo city, a guy who was educated overseas at right universities come back and take over the firm which is owned by his parents. He needs to deal with his sister, his brother-in-law, and have a painful process to fire the senior workers who have not effect in the economy. And he said that it's not what he likes. He not enjoy his life. It's in what he's obligated to do. The Confucianism creates the gunshi network. Example, Two families can make a great marriage for their children. Even in the future, they're not married, they still have a strong kinship, a strong connection with each other in business and society. They prevent the development of the business in China to nepotism. Children of the government officers use their parents' power and influence to enrich themselves. Example, Winston Wen Yusheng. He used his parents' power and influence to be promoted as chairman of state-owned China Satellite Communication. And this put his family weight at $2.7 billion US. Bribery is a major corruption in China. In 2007, a research found that 100 officers who take part in the research had 92% of them receive shopping carts from the buyers. Some of them write the value jumped up to $16,000 US. That means like 45 shopping carts. Bribery had a bad effect on the economy in China by losing the supporters from the public. Quote, winning or losing public support is an issue that concerns China's Communist Party's survival and extinction, said by the President Xi Jinping about the corruption problem in China. Kickback is a kind of bribery which yields to gain benefits interest from the public officers. Kickback is used for priorities of the company even they do not have more opportunities and qualified than another companies. And they also lost the trust from international traders with bad reputation. To stop corruption, they need to equal the salaries of the public officers and private enterprise officials. They need to look back the fight of the briberies. Quote, the chance of going to jail for corruption, according to one study, is only 3% in China. It's making corruption a low-risk, high-return gamble, said by Baucom, a senior associate at the Collegiate and Baucom. And also, to stop corruption, they need to break the relationship between the government, the banks, the parties, and the enterprise. Somebody said, Gunshi is based on the trust and honesty relationship from people to people. Quote, in the China culture, Gunshi practice have been found to have a positive function of building trust in the absence of adequate formal, legal, and financial institution. But we mean Gunshi lead to corruption more than its effect to the economy. In 2003, Jai Sheh-jun, a lawyer, tried to bribe and have a Gunshi with a judge. He said he will give them 40% retainer if they help him in any case he takes part in. Zhang Zhongbing, an auctioneer, he said in his book, confessed that you really use your brain in choosing this gift. If people from the procuratorate ask about it, you can simply say, I'm helping you to conduce a free market customers and relation. People say there are no exception for people who has power and have strong Gunshi to escape from the law. Li Kui-Ming, son of Li Gang. In the case my father named Li Gang were put in jail because he killed the victim, Chen Xiaofeng, and he was put in jail for 6 years. But we may guess the government can. The government of China tried to cover up the Li Kui-Ming case, but because some people saw he pushed the car to that girl on the street, and they're against the government decisions. There's a student in the Hebei University said, this is the kind of society we live in. People who have power, they can cover up the sky with one single according to the law. People also think the survival of front linked to the benefit, weight, and reputation of the families, of each people of the families. There's so many family business success like Wahaha, Soho China, Wanaru. But with me, some people use their own influence in the family firm to corruption. They control the rights of the firm for their own benefits, not for the family benefit. The family firms with the compensation and shareholding were $170,000, with non-family firm had $80,000. And also the family firm had more shares, 12%, and the non-family just had 2.2%. But the net profit and the compound annual growth rate of net profit in 2011 to 2013 of the family firm is 3.2%, but the non-family firm is 16.1%. Confucius' theory is good in some people's views. They say that it teaches people how to look into the leader and obey the parents. That's a good thing. But with me, it has some bad effect. Best effect to the economy and to the government of China, because the judge they not have any choice in the future. Gunship need to keep in the safety level. People should not let gunship turn into the corruption relationship. In the family firm, I suggest parents need to sympathize for their children and understand what they want. And they can turn the family firm to the non-family firm if it's necessary. To prevent bribery and nepotism, I suggest they need to pattern the salaries for the public officers. Let them have what they need. To fight stronger and stricter for the bribers who have relationship in bribery. Right relationship among government, the banks, the parties, and the enterprise. There's a lot of developing countries have the same problem with corruption. This is one of the main reasons many countries could slow down their development. Corruption in China needs to be reduced, or they will never be promoted from a developing country to a developed